Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. In today's video, I want to show you how to do this Cambridge IGCSE paper 2 for the extended mathematics. So this is from May or June 2021. So let's look at number 1. So we have this a square shape, and they ask you to write down the order of rotational symmetry of this diagram. So what you can do is you need to know where is the center of the rotation. Okay. So the center of the rotation will be in the middle here. Okay. So after you decided which one is your center of rotation, then you need to pick one of the shape. Okay. So I'm going to concentrate more on this shape. Okay. So then I try to rotate it. We can actually rotate it anti-clockwise or clockwise, okay? But the most common one is you rotate clockwise, okay? So if you rotate clockwise, so this shape will be moved to here, and then if you rotate it again, it will move to this point, and if you rotate again, it will move to this point, and then if you rotate again, it will move to the original point again. So now you can check how many times the shape can actually rotate until it reaches to the original point again. So in this case, you can see there are 4 rotational symmetry. Okay. And then on the diagram, they ask you to draw all the lines of symmetry. So then you can draw this one, the line of symmetry. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then number 2, the probability that a train is late is 0.15. Write down the probability that the train is not late. So I'm sure all of you know that the total probability can only be equal to 1. Okay, it's always equal to 1, the total probability. So if the probability that the train is late is 0.15, so the probability that the train will not be late will be 1 minus 0.15, which is 0.85. And then for number 3, we have a stem and leaf diagram, shows the number of hours that each of 16 students studied last week. Find the median, mode, and then range. So in this case, if we want to find the median, we need to know where is the middle position. Okay, so we know there are 16 students in here. So to find the middle number or the middle position, we can work it out. So normally I like to call it the median position. Let me just say like median position. The median position will be the total number or the total data you have, add by 1 and then divide by 2. So you know the middle position will be at 8.5 position. But we cannot get the number in the 8.5. So if we have 8.5, we know that the position will be in the middle of 8 and the 9 position. So we know the median is between the 8 and the 9 position. Okay. So if we try to see where is the 8 position, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8 position is in the number 27. Okay, and then the 9 position is in the 29th. So if we have 27 and 29 as the 8 and the 9 position, then we can add them 2 and then we divide by 2. So then our median will be equal to 7 plus 9 Divide by 2, which is 8. So the median is actually 27, and because we have a stem also, so we have 27 and 29. So we have 28 as our median. And then, so to find the mode is the number that appear the most number of times, okay? So in this case, if we see that the number that appeared the most number of times is actually 21, because 21 appeared 2 times, okay? And then the range, okay? You all should know range is the maximum number minus with the minimum number, okay? To find the range is the maximum minus the minimum. So maximum is the largest number, we have 47, minus with the smallest number, which is 12, okay? Then we have 35 as our range, okay? And then let's look at number 4. We have the diagram shows the 2 parallel lines intersected by 2 straight lines. Find the value of A, B, and C. So to find the A is very easy because we know the A and the 59, they are vertically opposite. Okay, if they are vertically opposite, then you know they are the same. Okay, so A will be 59 because they are vertically opposite. And then to find the B, if we look at this, okay, this 37 and B, they are actually corresponding angle, okay, because they are parallel. So we know the B is also 37 degree. So we already get the value of A and B, so we can find the C. Because A plus B plus C, they are equal to 180 degree. So C will be 180 minus with the A minus with the B. Because the total angle for triangle is 180 degree. So in this case, our C will be 84 degree. Okay, and then number 5, we have a matrix question. So matrices, you should know if we have like 6 and -5 plus with 8 and -1. So we add the top one together. The top one will be 6 plus 8 is 14. And then the bottom one is -5 plus -1 will be -6. And then for B is the multiplication, so we times the 3 with -4 and then the 3 with 7. So we have -12 and 21. And then number 6a, in the n term of a sequence n squared plus 3n, the first 3 terms in this sequence. So they ask you to find the first 3 terms. So then you can say the first term will be n equal to 1. If n equal to 1 will be 1 squared plus 3 times 1, which is 4. For the second term is n equal to 2. So we have 2 squared plus 3 bracket 2, which is 10. And then the third term is n equal to 3. We have 3 squared plus 3 bracket 3, which is 18. So then the first 3 term will be 4, 10, and 18. And then for B, these are the first 5 terms of the different sequence. Find the n term of the sequence. So to find the formula for the sequence, we need to know the pattern. Okay. So in this case, we know they are actually subtracted by 7. So our formula will definitely be negative 7n. Okay. So our formula is going to be negative 7n, but there should be something else at the back. Okay. Because if you try to put the n equal to 1 for the first term, if n equal to 1, if you put n equal to 1, then the value will be negative 7. But here it's not negative 7 for our first term. Okay. So to make it 25 for the first term, we know this one for the first term is going to be negative 7 because first term is n equal to 1. So to get you to 25, so negative 7, you need to know negative 7 plus what is 25. Okay. So in this case, negative 7 need to add by 32. Okay. To get you the first term as 25. Okay. So it's very easy. If you want to find the formula, you need to know the pattern. Is it like, are they subtracting or are they adding? Okay. So in this case, if they are all subtracted by 7, so the formula will be negative 7n, and then at the back you have to add by a some number, okay, to match with the pattern they give you. Okay. Because negative 7 times, if the n is 1, negative 7 times 1 is negative 7. But you have to make the formula to get you the first term as 25. So we have negative 7, you have to add by another 32, okay, to get you 25. And then the next one, we are asked to solve the simultaneous equation. So we have 2x plus y is equal to 3. And then we have x minus 5y is equal to 40. So there are many ways you can do with this. You can use elimination or substitution, or you can even use a graphical method. But we seldom use graphical method in this case because they don't ask you to draw any graph. Okay. So the only way you can solve is by elimination or substitution. So in this case, I'm going to use substitution. So we have, so to substitute, you need to make one of the equation to be like y as a subject or x as a subject. In this case, you can make y as a subject because it's a lot simpler. So we have 3 minus 2x. So after we get this, then we can substitute this y as a subject to the second equation. Then we get so we have x minus 15 plus 10x is equal to 40. Then we have 11x equal to 55. Then x will be 11. 55 divided by 11, which is 5. Then after you get x, you can find the y. You can substitute into here. So you have 3 minus 2 bracket 5. And then the y will be negative 7. Okay. So you already have the x value and the y value. And then let's look at number 8. Without using a calculator, work out 1 3 over 8 minus 5 over 6. Show your answer as the simplest fraction. So in this case, So you have 1 3 over 8 minus 5 over 6. So this 3 over 8, you can minus this fraction together, but because they have different denominator, okay, you need to make the denominator the same. So in this case, I'm going to make it to 24, the common denominator. If I make it to 24, this 8 I times by 3, the 3 I times by 3 also. And then this 6 I times by 4, the 5 I times with 4. Now, 9 cannot minus with 20, okay? So if they cannot be subtracted, so you have to borrow from this number 1, okay? So if you borrow from 1, then it becomes, so the 9, if you borrow from 1, then the 1 is, you subtract by 1, then the 1 gone, the 9 you add by 24. Then you have 33 over 24 minus with 20 over 24. Then you get 13 over 24. And then let's look at number 9. A is the point at 5, negative 5, and B is the point at 9, 3. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. Okay. So to find the midpoint, you just need to know you can add the coordinates, the x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. So you can call this as x1 y1 and then x2 y2. And then you should get 5 plus 9 over 2. The y1 and y2 will be negative 5 plus 3 over 2. And then you will get 7, negative 1. So that's your midpoint. And then to find the length, there's a formula to find the length. You can use x1, or you can just use x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. And then you will get 9 minus 5 square plus 3 minus and minus 5 become plus 5 square. So then you get 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 is square becomes 16. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 if you square becomes 64. And then from here you will get a square root of 80. Then let's look at number 10. Okay, so we have this the shape of A, B, and C. And then they ask you to describe fully the single transformation on the map. So we have triangle A onto the triangle B. Okay, if we look at this, the A, how do we get the A to the B? Okay, so we know at this point, so you need to know where is the center of the rotation, okay, and how do they actually rotate. So if you look at this, so we have, if I draw the line like this, okay, so they actually have to be 90 degree, okay, if they rotate. So basically this one, they rotate like this in the anti-clockwise direction, okay. And then this point, they actually rotate in here, okay. And then this point, they actually rotate in here. So they actually rotate, if you look, they actually rotate at 90 degree in the anti-clockwise direction with the center of the rotation at this point, 0 and -1, okay. So you can describe it as rotation (90° anti-clockwise) at 0, -1, okay. And then let's look at the triangle A onto the triangle C. So if you look at the triangle and from A to triangle C, they actually you know, they actually get smaller, okay, from A to C. So if they get smaller, then you know there's actually a reduction in the size of the shape, okay. So then this one, the type of the transformation will be so if you see like this, okay, they actually get smaller. So we can look at this line. This line is 3, and then this one they become 1, okay. And then this one, the length is 6. This one become 2. So then we know the scale of the enlargement will be the final shape. You divide with the length of the original shape, okay. So the final length you get 2 for this one. The original one is actually 6, okay. So there's a scale factor of 2/6, which is 1/3, okay. So you can say the type of the transformation is enlargement with scale factor of 1/3. And then you need to know where is the center of the enlargement. So if you try to draw it, they will actually meet at here, okay. So this is 6, 6, okay? That's the center of the enlargement at the coordinate of 6, 6, okay? So same with the rotation just now. For part I, you also need to decide, okay, where's the center of the rotation, if this one is the center of the enlargement, okay? Because they get smaller in size. If they get smaller in size, you should know the scale factor will be in terms of fraction, okay? Always the final length over the original length, because the final one, the C, is actually smaller. That's why you use the 2 over 6, okay? And then draw the image of triangle A after a translation by a factor of 2 and then 10. So to draw that kind of image, because translation means like you either move up or down, okay? So for the first one is 2. The first one is always either to the left or to the right, because the first one represents the x, okay? So because they say 2, if 2, that means they are going to move to the right, because the top one is representing the is either moving to the left or to the right. If to the left, is normally negative, but here we have positive 2. If positive 2, you should know they're actually moving to the right. To the right by 2 units. And then let's look at this point, okay? This point, they move to the right by 2 units. And then the bottom one, 10, is the one that is representing is either moving up or down. If up is normally represented by positive number, if moving down is represented by negative number. Because this one is 10, so it's actually moving up, okay? So just now there's a translation, 2 unit to the right, and then there's another translation, 10 unit to the 10 unit up. Okay, if 10 unit up, it will be at here. So it will be at here. Okay, so as we know, the shape doesn't change. So after we decided, after we pick one point and we know the final point, so then we can draw the shape out again. Okay, so it should look something like this. So that's the translation of the triangle. Okay, 2 unit to the right and 10 unit up. And then let's look at number 11. So we have to simplify fully. So this one is about indices. So we have 4a b power of 5 bracket power of 4. So if they have bracket power of 4, means all the number inside you have to power it. Okay, so we have 4 power of 4 become 4 power of 4, you should know, is 256. And then this a you also need to power by 4, become a power of 4. Then the b power of 5 also power of 4, become b power of 20. If power with power, you times it. And then for the b, we have 2p power of 1 over 3 equal to 6. So we have p 1 over 3 is equal to 6 over 2. So p1 over 3 is equal to 3. So p1 over 3, you know, is the same as the cube root. So to get rid of this cube root, you can cube both sides, okay? And the cube root gone. Then the 3 become, if you cube it, become 3 cubed, which is 27. And then for the C, we have 81 square divided by 3 power of t is equal to 9. So if you want to find the value of t, you need to make all the base the same. Okay? So 81 square. 81, if you want to make the base the same, in this case, you can see the common base will be 3. Okay? Because 81, you can make it to the base of 3 become 3 power of 4. And then we have 3 power of t. The 9, if you want to make to the base as 3, we can make it to 3 power of 2. Then we have 3 power of 8 divided by 3 power of t is equal to 3 power of 2. If divide, you should know the power, you minus it. So, and then after that, if the base is already the same, you can equate the power. Then you have 8 minus t is equal to 2. Minus t is equal to negative 6. T is equal to 6. Okay, let's look at number 12. We have the profit of a company makes decreases exponentially at a rate of 0.9% per year. In 2014, the profit was 9,500. Calculate the profit in 2019. Okay. So as we know, they actually decrease exponentially. Okay. So that's a formula you can find. So the total, we can call it the profit, because for exponential, you can use this one. P represented as profit. Okay. The original. What I mean by original is the initial number. In this case, is the 9,500 as our original profit. Okay. And bracket with 1 minus the rate. I call the R is the rate. Power of n. N is the number of years. Okay. So we have 9,500 bracket minus 0.1 minus 0.9 over 100 power of 5. Okay. If you calculate this, you should get about 9,080.13. So if you see like something like exponential, you can actually use this formula. Okay. Because they decreases, okay, at a rate of 0.9%. Okay, and then let's look at number, okay, as you can see that for number 12, because they decreases at 0.9%, so the value you get should be below the original number. And then let's look at number 13. We have on the map, a lake has an area of 32. The scale of the map is 1 to 24,000. Okay. So you already have the scale. So to find the actual area, will be the area on the map times with the scale square. Because this one is area. Okay. Area, the scale has to be square also. Okay. So the area on the map, we have 32 cm square times the scale is 24,000 square. Then you get about 1.8432 times 10 power of 10 cm square. So, you know, cm to kilometer, you have to divide by 100,000 square. Then you will get 1.8432 kilometer square. And then let's look at number 14. If y is directly proportional to the square root of x minus 3 when x is 28, y is 20. Find the value of y when x is equal to 39. Okay, if you know, if you get a directly proportional, so you have y is equal to k bracket x minus 3 because it says square root. So this one is square root it. Okay, so if directly is k times the expression that you have times with, in this case is square root of x minus 3, but if they say inversely, it will be k over, okay, over the square root of x minus 3. That's the difference. Okay, if directly is times, if inversely is divide. So then you have to find the value of k first, okay, to find to answer the question that they ask you. So to find the k, they give you the when x is 28, y is 20. So k will be 4. Then you know your equation will be 4 square root of x minus 3. So to find the y, they give you when x is 39. So then you have 4 times, this one is square root of 36. If you square root of 36 will be 6. So 4 times 6 will be 24. Okay, let's look at number 5. So, number 15. Make h the subject of the formula. So to make h as the subject of the formula, we have to expand the bracket first. And then, so we have to move, because we want to make h as a subject, we have to make h on one side, and then the one with no h, you have to move it to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to move the g to the other side because the g doesn't have any h. So I can say h will be 2mh minus g over negative g. Sorry about this. Actually, we have another h in here. So I'm going to move the gh to the left because there's another 2mh. Okay. So if we have 2mh plus gh, okay, we have two terms with the h. So we can take out the common factor of h first. We have to leave the h by itself, okay, because we want to make h as a subject. Then we get h is equal to g over 2m plus g. So this will be the formula. And then for number 16, we have a straight line, and we want to find the gradient of the line of L. So to find the gradient, we can use the rise over run. So as we know, this one, the slope is actually going down. Okay, if the slope is going down, we have to put negative first. Okay, because it's a negative gradient, because the slope is going down. And then we can do a triangle. So I'm going to use this one, the triangle. Okay, the rise is the change in the y. Okay, we know the change in the y is 3. the run is the change in the x. We know the run is 4. So the gradient will be negative 3 over 4. Okay. So the gradient is always rise over run. And we put negative because the slope is going down. And then the next one, we have to find the equation of the line in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So we know the m is our gradient and the c is the y-intercept. Okay, we already have the gradient and the c is the y-intercept. We know this is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 2. And then for the c, we are asked to find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to line L and passes through the point 12, negative 7. Okay. So to find because we have another line that is perpendicular to the line L. Okay. So let's say the line looks something like this. Okay. So we know the line, this line is actually perpendicular to the line L. So to find the equation of this line, we have to know the gradient. Okay. So the gradient of the perpendicular line will be, normally you can use the, let me call the perpendicular line as mn. Okay. So the line of the gradient of the perpendicular line times the original gradient is, they always equal to negative 1. Okay, so this is the common formula. So the gradient of the perpendicular line times with this one, the m is the original gradient, is equal to negative 1. So to find this mn is the gradient of the perpendicular line, times it with the original gradient, which is negative 3 over 4, is equal to negative 1. So mn will be negative 1 divided by negative 3 over 4. So the gradient of the perpendicular line will be 4 over 3. Okay. So then we have we still use this one, y equals mx plus c. So we know the gradient, which is 4 over 3x plus c. Now, we need to know the value of c. So to find the value of c, we are given that the line actually passes through 12, negative 7. So we can use this point and substitute into our y and x to find the c. So we already have the c, then we know our equation will be y is equal to 4 over 3x minus with 23. Okay, so that's our equation of the perpendicular line to the line L. Okay. Alright, let's look at number 17. We have a bag contains 3 blue buttons, 8 white buttons, and 5 red buttons. 2 buttons are picked at random from the bag without replacement. Work out the probability that the 2 buttons are either white or are either both red or both white. Okay. So to find this, so the easiest way you can draw a tree diagram first. So we have blue, we have white, and we have red. The blue one is 3. The total, you know, always to find the probability, we have the number of blue button over the total number of button. Okay. In this case, the total number of button will be 16. And then the white we have 8 over 16. The red we have 5 over 16. And then we have to draw another chain again because you actually pick it 2 times. Okay. So because after you pick it, you don't do any replacement. Okay. That's why for this case, the first one you already picked the blue. That means there will be 2 more blue. Okay. So you have 2 over because they say without replacement. That's why the remaining button left for the second pick will be, the total will be only 15. Okay, because they say without replacement. And then the white one still remain the same because the first pick you actually put the blue one. Okay, so the white one still remain the same, 8 over 15. And then the red one will be same, 5 over 15. And then for this one, the second part, you pick the white one. That's why the blue one still remain the same, 3 over 15. The white one will become 7 over 15. The red one will be 5 over 15. And then for the third one, the first pick, you actually pick the red one. That's why the blue one still remain the same, 3 over 15. The white one still remain the same. And the red one will be 4 over 15. And then they ask you, find the probability that the 2 buttons are either both red or both white. So if they want both red, then you actually want both red and both white. Okay, so let me draw with this so you can see the chain. Both white will be this one. Okay, and both red will be this chain and this chain. So in this case, the probability that are both white will be 8 over 16 times it with 7 over 15 plus, because you also want both white, okay, both white and both red, okay, plus the five over 16 times it with 4 over 15. Then you will get 19 over 60 as your probability. Okay, let's look at number 18. We have the factor of a triangle. S is the point on PQ, such that PS to the ratio of SQ is 4 to 5. Find OS in terms of A and B. So for us to be able to find OS, we need to know the PQ. Okay, so let's find out how do we find the PQ. So if we know this one, the PQ is actually PO plus OQ. So the PO, because they're going opposite to the factor of A, that's why it's going to be negative A, plus the OQ is B. And then we are given this one, the ratio of PS to SQ is 4 to 5. That means to find the factor of PS, because PS, the ratio is only 4, okay? So we have 4 over the total 9, bracket with negative A plus B. So this is the factor for PS. And then to find OS will be OP plus PS. OP is A plus 4 over 9 bracket negative A plus B. Then we have 5 over 9A plus 4 over 9B as the factor. Alright, let's look at number 19. So we want to sketch the graph of y is equal to tan x. So all of you should know the tan graph will look like this. We have the asymptotes at 90 degree here. Then another asymptotes at 270. Okay. So this is what the tan graph look like. And then next one, we have to solve for the equation of 5 is equal to 5 tan x is equal to 1. So then we can do the inverse of tan. The first angle is 11.3 degree. Because they want from between 0 to 360. Okay. So we know the tan, when the tan is positive, we know the first radian is all of them. That's why I call A. The second radian is only the sign is positive. The third radian is only the tan is positive. And then the fourth radian is only the cos is positive. So we know that there is another angle for the tan that's positive is in the third radian, because we want the range of the x from 0 to 360. So then we know this one. So if we turn like this, so another value for the angle will be 180 plus with the angle at the first radian 11.3 degree. Then we have 191.3 degree as the second angle. And then for number 20, The distance between the two towns is 600 km, correct to the nearest 10 km. A car takes 8 hours 40 minutes, correct to the nearest 10 minutes to travel this distance. Calculate the lower bound of the average speed of the car in km per hour. So to find the average, the lower bound, we know the average speed will be the total distance divided by the total time. So because we want the lower bound, if the lower bound, the total distance, we have to pick the smallest one. Okay, the smallest one it can be is only 595. And then the total time, we have 8 hours and 40 minutes. Because this one, the 40 minutes is already correct to the nearest minute. But for the time, we want the upper bound. Okay, the upper bound will be 8 hours and 45 minutes. So if we but we want this one in kilometer per hour. So we have 595. If this one, the 8 hours and 45 minutes, if we change it to hour only, we will get 3/4 hours. So if you calculate that, you will get 68 km per hour. Okay, I think this is the end of the lesson for this paper. I hope it helps you for this paper 2 for IGCSE Standard Mathematics. Okay, so that's it for this paper, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.